adoration, honor, reverence, praise, adore. Worship is devotion. That's what it means. What does worship mean? Devotion. You're devoted to it. So when he says, all men had the mark of the beast, except the 144,000, and upon them which worshipped his image. Worship means devotion. Image, what is an image? A representation, an external, a resemblance, a portrayal, a likeness. What does that mean? The Bible is saying that all men are devoted to the resemblance of the mark of the beast. Now I started thinking about, what is everybody obsessed with nowadays? What is everybody doing nowadays? Well, it's the phones. Everybody is on their phone constantly with their social media, with their platform. Everything works through these phones. It's through here. And I was like, okay, Father, so what are you trying to say? And then I went down and I started scrolling through Apocalypse. And I was like, Father, why are you leading me to Apocalypse? What's going on here? In Apocalypse, in Revelation, it talks about the Father coming back because man has reached the extent of evil. I'm like, Father, what do you mean? What do you mean? What's going on here? What do you mean man has reached the end of evil? Why is it the end of the times? What's going on? I don't understand. And why is nobody else talking about this? And that's when I started that's when I started researching the order of the apocalypse. And I was like, Father, why are you telling me we're in the end times? And so he led me to go into the book of Revelations in the New Testament, which lists the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. As first being the conquest of war, famine, and then death. While in the Old Testament, the book of Ezekiel, they talk about the sword, the famine, the wild beasts, pestilence, and plagues. So what happens is that for a lot of us, we're not aware of what's going on because we're distracted. But if you really look at the world that I'm a part of, that I see people slaving themselves to death, Uber Eats, constantly doing Uber, constantly doing all of these things in order to get money, and everything is expensive. I see a massive recession going on. That's what's happening right now. Things are getting worse and worse and worse every single day. So I started understanding and looking at the fact that those are the signs of the times. The thing is that the people that are serving this system, that are part of the elite, they don't really care about what's going on over here. They care, they're serving the system is serving them, so they don't really care about the people who are out here struggling in the Hunger Games. Then that's when I was led to really just diving deep into the book of Revelation, into the final book of the New Testament, and really just diving into the apocalypse, which is the complete final destruction of the world, as described in the biblical book of Revelation. And for some reason, I got really excited. And you know why? You know why I got excited? Because when the Lord showed me what was occurring, I became so appalled and so saddened. Yet I became so joyful because I said, wow, you really are real. Because his word is true. He doesn't lie. His word is true. He said this would happen. He said that the entire population would be under the control of the mark of the beast. He said it. The thing is that very few are aware of it. Because there are those who are serving the system, and then there are those who are not serving it. Now, for us, for me, where I have seen my family. I have seen people around me be victims of the system and see the way it's destroyed them. I'm hurt. But when I go online, I see people doing really well, being completely unaware of the fact that there's an entire population out here that's hurting and that's going through hell to make it by. So I get confused because I'm like, what's the reality of what's really happening here? And then that's when the Lord sent me to Revelation 17 verses 8 through 10. And it talked about the beast that you saw was and is not and is about to rise from the bottomless pit and go to destruction into the earth. And the dwellers on the earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, will marvel to see the beast, because it was and is not to come. No, and is not and is to come. This calls for a mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman is seated. There are also 7 kings, 5 of whom have fallen. One is, the other has not yet come, and when he does come, he must remain only a little while. So you guys are probably very confused because that sounds very heavy. Now let me explain to you guys. In Revelation 21 verse 1, he says, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more." So the Lord is saying in Revelation 8:7, he says, "The first angel blew his trumpet, and there followed hail and fire mixed with blood, and these were thrown upon the earth, and a third of the earth was burned up, and a third of the trees were burned up, and all green grass was burned up." So here it just explains that there's going to be a wrath because of what man has done. Now you may ask, what has man done? What the Lord has revealed in his text is that man has mixed technology and human DNA together, which means that there is a portion of the population that is under subtle mind control. You guys have not seen it. I have seen it. And it is heartbreaking and earth-shattering. I saw it, and a lot of individuals that I know have seen the mind control and has seen what it's done to people. People will start talking on their phones really strangely. They don't seem to have control of their own minds. And it's taken over a very large portion of the population. Now, a lot of people may not believe this because they're distracted on their phones and they're looking at other things. But there's a real war going on for people's lives out here. Now, if you believe me or not, it's up to you. But all you have to really do is really research in your Bible. Read the Bible. Read Revelation. Read Apocalypse. And look at the world around you. Only those with eyes to see will be able to know what's going on. But it is my duty to be a voice for the voiceless. It is my duty to be a voice for those who are targeted, for those who are suffering the torture of these technological weapons. And I will be the voice for the voiceless, because I've spoken to countless individuals who are too afraid to speak. But that's one thing about me. I'm not afraid.